Good afternoon. I'd like to call the call to order. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Planning Commission meeting for October the 2nd, 2024. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grabowski,
Present.
Commissioner Woodard,
Present.
Commissioner Bowditch,
Present.
Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Shook,
Present.
Commissioner Dias,
Present.
Commissioner Michaud,
Present.
Commissioner Taylor,
Present.
Chairperson Taylor, we have a quorum.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Brown. Next, we will have the Planning Commission creed and the approval of the agenda by Commissioner Schabowski.
Planning Commission Creed. The Newport News Planning Commission is mandated by state law and its members are appointed by City Council. Section 15.2-2210 of the Code of Virginia states, in part, that every locality shall create a planning commission in order to promote the orderly development of the locality and its environment. The statutory purpose is to improve the public health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the citizens and to plan for the future development of the communities. In serving this statutory purpose, the Planning Commission invites the comments at the public hearing of its interested citizens of matters before it and welcomes your presence. Chairperson Taylor, I move we adopt the agenda before us.
I second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. How do we vote?
Aye.
Okay, agenda is approved. Next, the item on the invocation by Commissioner Michelle.
Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you today also for just this privilege and responsibility that we have to have a voice in a democratic process. And so help us to use that voice today in service of one another. It's in your name. Amen.
Amen. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Williams.
Flags are up.
Flag of 48.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. In our package, we received copies of minutes from two events that we've had in the last couple of weeks. One was the City Planning Commission on September the 4th. The other one was the City Planning Commission work session on September the 18th. So what I'd like to do is get a motion for each individual minutes, whether to accept or if there are corrections that need to be made. So we'll start with our Planning Commission on September the 4th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of our planning commission meeting of September 4th.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions or concerns or corrections? Hearing none. Call roll, please.
Commissioner Woodard,
4.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Shook,
4.
Commissioner Dias,
4.
Commissioner Michaud,
4.
Commissioner Grabowski,
4.
Commissioner Taylor,
4.
motion unanimous, 8-0.
The next item before us is our City Planning Commission work session that was held on the 18th of September.
I move that we accept the minutes from the September 18th, 2024 work session.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or concerns? Any corrections? Hearing none, seeing none. Call roll.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Shook,
4.
Commissioner Dias,
Abstain.
Commissioner Michaud,
4.
Commissioner Grabowski,
4.
Commissioner Woodard,
4.
Commissioner Taylor,
4.
motion carries 7 with 1 abstention.
Thank you so very much. Excuse me. I'd like to first and now open up the public hearing. We have a conditional use permits before us. Conditional use permit 2024, TAC 008, and that will be presented by Saul Garcia.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Application CU 2024-008 is by the Catholic Diocese of Richmond and Bishop Barry C. Knestout is the applicant. They are requesting a conditional use permit to allow for the installation of an electronic display sign in conjunction with a community facility in a residential district. Okay. Fine. The property is located at 600 Harpersville Road, and it contains 53.73 acres. Okay, let me try this. North, we have single-family homes on property zone R4 single-family dwelling. East, we have vacant parcels and a power line easement on property zone R4 single-family dwelling. South, we have single-family homes and vacant parcels on property zone R4 single-family dwelling. And west, we have single-family homes, a flower shop, and a church on property zone R4 single-family dwelling. The One City, One Future 2040 Comprehensive Plan land use map designates community facilities uses for the property. The private high school use is a community facility, and it is compatible with this designation. The property has been zoned R4 single-family dwelling since the citywide comprehensive rezoning became effective on August 1st, 1997. The sign ordinance allows a community facility to install an electronic display sign in residentially zoned districts with the approval of a conditional use permit. No more than one electronic display sign is allowed on a developed site. The overall height of the proposed sign structure is 7.4 feet, and the electronic display portion of the sign is 21 square feet. The sign ordinance permits a 10-foot sign structure and a 32 square foot electronic display area. Thus, the proposed sign meets the height and area requirements in the ordinance. The sign ordinance stipulates that any electronic sign that is visible 200 feet from any portion of a single-family or multiple-family dwelling district shall not be illuminated between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. The property is located within a single-family dwelling district and must meet this requirement. Peninsula Catholic High School has been in operation at this location since 1996. There is an existing brick sign structure with a large reader board. The sign is located less than 5 feet from the sidewalk and within an existing easement. It is also parallel to Harpersville Road, so that messages displayed on this sign can only be read when you are standing directly in front of the sign. The new sign will be located outside of the easement and 45.5 feet from the property line. It will be perpendicular to the street, allowing for readability from both sides of Harpersville Road. The school is in a residential neighborhood with single-family homes directly adjacent on two sides and a flower shop, church, and single-family homes across Harpersville Road. The sign will be clearly visible to many homes in the neighborhood. To mitigate potential adverse impacts on the electronic display sign on the surrounding residences, the applicant is proposing a 21 square foot electronic message center that it is significantly smaller than the 32 square feet allowed by the sign ordinance. The sign location is set back from Harpersville Road and over 200 feet from the closest residence directly across the road and over 140 feet from the closest residence to the north. In addition, consistent with the sign ordinance, recommended conditions for approval will address the brightness of illumination and the hours of operation. In conclusion, the proposed sign meets all the regulatory requirements cited in the sign ordinance for electronic display signs. It will be significantly smaller than what is permitted by the sign ordinance, minimizing its impact on nearby residences. The sign operation will observe the required lighting schedule. Hence, it is recommended to Planning Commission that they recommend City Council approve conditional use permit CU 2024-0008 for the installation of an electronic display sign in conjunction with a community facility in a residential district at 600 Harpersville Road with 14 conditions that include: the design, size, height, and illumination of the sign shall be in accordance with the submitted rendering and shall conform to this conditional use permit and the sign ordinance. The electronic display portion of the sign shall not exceed 21 square feet, and the overall height of the sign shall not exceed 7.4 feet. The electronic portion of the sign shall not be illuminated between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. All 14 conditions are detailed in the staff report and will be part of the ordinance approved by council. Are there any questions?
I just have one as a point of information. Is it any way to codify these electronic signs in a way where it's able to be done administratively without having to continually go through this process for these electronic signs?
Yes, that would be up to City Council at the, and the administration, city administration, if they want to move forward with that.
Yeah.
It would be a text amendment?
Yeah. So it would be a new ordinance. You'd have to change the existing ordinance. That's why I said it would be up to City Council. They'd have to adopt a new electronic sign portion of our zoning code.
Okay.
We're back to this.
Oh, sign ordinance. Yeah.
But I think the purpose of it is because of its location, because we're only requiring it when it's in residential areas.
Right.
So neighbors are aware. Neighbors aren't going to be aware if it's administrative.
Got you. So we get it's to get an opportunity for the neighbors to come back and voice their opinions or concerns. Thank you.
Yeah, the question too. So is the restrictions on when it can be illuminated by virtue of the fact of the zoning there?
Yes.
And that's required of any electronic sign in any residential area?
In a residential area for a community facility, yes.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the commission? Okay, I will I have only one card on this issue, and this is the contractor. Do we have any questions for the contractor? None? Okay. Well, thank you so very much. I will now close the public hearing, and it matters before the commission.
I move that conditional use permit number CU 2024-0008 be approved with conditions as recommended by staff.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Please call roll.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Shook,
4.
Commissioner Dias,
4.
Commissioner Michelle,
4.
Commissioner Grabowski,
Against.
Commissioner Woodard,
4.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Taylor.
4.
Motion carries 7-1.
All right, this item will be heard by City Council on October the 22nd. Thank you so very much for coming down, sir. All right, the next item we have on our agenda is a zoning text amendment, ZT 2024, text 0004. And this one also will be presented to us by Nyoka. Oh, Nyoka, I apologize. I'm glad you was over there and not here.
Good afternoon.
Oh, geez, that's gonna hurt.
We have proposed zoning text amendment 2024-0004.
Ms. Nyoka, could you speak up,
I'm
please?
sorry. The purpose of the zoning text amendment is to remove off-street minimum requirements in Article 30, off-street parking and loading regulation section 45-3004, and to eliminate allowances for parking increases and reductions related to special exceptions in Article 32, Section 45-3204E4, and Section 45-3204E11. The rationale for eliminating such requirements includes promoting walkable communities, encouraging alternative transportation, and reducing the environmental impacts of large surface parking lots. The city has already eliminated parking minimums in certain districts and has seen increased development activity, which has created commercial uses, housing, and public spaces. It's thought that market demand rather than outdated regulation should dictate parking needs. Many developments currently provide more parking than is used, which suggests minimum parking requirements may not be necessary. Some of the benefits of the proposed amendments are the elimination of parking minimums will allow developers to design projects that are more suited to tenant and customer needs, lowering construction costs and increasing development opportunities on smaller parcels. Reducing parking requirements can also support affordable housing efforts by lowering costs. And fewer parking lots lead to less impervious surface, reducing stormwater runoff and improving environmental outcomes. Eliminating parking minimums alone will not entirely resolve the creation of large parking lots. Implementing paid parking, particularly in high-demand areas, will incentivize alternative transportation and ensure that the revenue generated can be reinvested into sidewalks, bike lanes, and public transit. Paid parking systems can also better manage demand, ensuring that spaces are used efficiently while reducing parking infrastructure's environmental and financial costs. The proposed amendment supports the city's One City, One Future 2040 comprehensive plan, particularly its goals for sustainable development, walkability, and reducing car dependency. The community was consulted, and it was found that developers, business owners, and residents largely supported the amendment, recognizing the benefits like lower development cost, increased land use efficiency, and support for alternative transportation. Some concerns did remain about parking availability for areas with limited public transit. The city must balance these concerns with broader sustainability goals. The Regulations Committee reviewed and recommended approval of the amendment on August 21st, 2024, and recommended that the Planning Commission forward the recommendation of City Council to adopt zoning ordinance text amendment 2024-004.
Is there any questions, comments?
I'd just like to make a comment. I think this is great. I think commend the planning department. The more we can allow market dynamics to determine outcomes, the better our city's going to be, and the better we're going to be able to move forward progressively into the future. So, well done.
I would add to that from an economic development standpoint and from a ability to bring businesses existing to enlarge or enrich themselves or new to come to our great city, it will be an added benefit for those trying to come in to make a parcel or a building make sense for them or work. So it will certainly help out the economic development department as well, I would assume.
Any other comments? Hearing none?
Hearing none, I remove.
I'll just before the motion,
Okay.
I don't think I opened public hearing on this one. So I would like to open the public hearing. If anyone is here to speak on behalf of the zoning text amendment. Seeing no one, hearing no one, I would like to close the public hearing, and now the matter is before the commission.
I move that we recommend to City Council adoption of zoning text amendment number ZT Tech 2024 Tech 0004.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any other comments? And here's your another opportunity. Please call roll.
Commissioner Shook,
4.
Commissioner Dias,
4.
Commissioner Michelle,
4.
Commissioner Grabowski,
4.
Commissioner Woodard,
4.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Taylor.
4.
Motion unanimous, 8-0.
This item will be heard by City Council on October 22nd. Thank you so very much. The next item on the agenda is zoning text amendment 2024 Tax 0005, and that would also be presented by Ms. Nyoka Hall.
Zoning text amendment ZT 2024-0005. Proposed text amendment seeks to add section 45-539 to Article 5 General Regulations establishing specific fueling station requirements. The city previously adjusted parking regulations to provide both minimum and maximum parking limits in an effort to reduce surface parking lots for retail uses. However, fueling stations with expanded services such as retail and dining found the maximum parking allowances insufficient for their needs. To address this, a special exception was introduced, allowing fueling stations to exceed parking limits in exchange for meeting certain criteria. With the elimination of parking requirements, the special exception is no longer necessary. The new section 45-539 will seek to require landscaping and screening criteria for all fueling stations along city corridors previously tied to the special exception. This is aimed at improving the visual appeal of corridors where these stations are located. The Regulations Committee reviewed the amendment on August 21st of 2024 and recommended for approval. It is suggested that the Planning Commission recommend the adoption of zoning ordinance text amendment 2024-0005 to City Council.
Any questions? Any clarification or comments? I'll also like to open the public hearing on this behalf of this zoning text amendment. Anyone have any comments? Anyone want to step forward in regards to this zoning text amendment? Hearing none, seeing none, I will now close the public hearing. in the matters before the commission?
Chairperson, I'd like to recommend that we adopt, or we recommend to the city council adoption of zoning ordinance text amendment ZT-2024-0005.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and properly second. Please call roll.
Commissioner Dias,
4.
Commissioner Michelle,
4.
Commissioner Grabowski,
4.
Commissioner Woodard,
4.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Shook,
4.
Commissioner Taylor.
4.
Motion unanimous, 8-0.
Thank you. This item will also be heard by City Council on October the 22nd, 2024. Next on our agenda is zoning text amendment 2024-0006. This will also be presented by Ms. Hall.
Okay. Zoning text amendment ZT 2024-0006. The proposed zoning text amendment seeks to amend Chapter 45 zoning ordinance, Article 31 by adding Division 12, establishing the Chestnut Avenue Corridor Overlay District. Chestnut Avenue has historically been a vital commercial and residential corridor in the southeast community, providing economic and social connections. The 1997 zoning ordinance introduced modern principles, but failed to address the corridor's specific needs, overlooking its historic mixed-use development pattern. This contributed to business abandonment and property demolition due to lack of zoning support for revitalization. The overlay district aims to revitalize Chestnut Avenue by encouraging a mix of residential, commercial, and office uses, supporting well-planned compatible development in line with the historic character of the corridor. The targeted area spans parcels fronting Chestnut Avenue from 25th Street to 37th Street. The district will permit uses allowed by right in both the underlying zoning and overlay district, ensuring flexibility for new development. Design standards will promote high-quality development and contribute to the aesthetic and functional goals of the corridor. This amendment aligns with the One City, One Future 2040 Comprehensive Plan, which emphasizes reusing vacant sites for mixed use and housing options and fostering development compatible with the surrounding community. The Regulations Committee reviewed the amendment on August 21st, 2024, and recommended approval. It is suggested that the Planning Commission recommend the adoption of zoning ordinance text amendment ZT-2024-0006 to the City Council.
Thank you so very much. I'd like to first open the public hearing. See if there's anyone. Seeing none, hearing none, I will now close the public hearing in the matters before the commission. Any comments, any questions, any additional questions?
I move that we recommend to City Council adoption of zoning text amendment ZT Tech 2024 Tech 0006.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions, comments?
I do just have a point of clarification. With the adoption of the zoning text amendment, is this going to have any impact on any current property owners or residents of this corridor?
Or do we foresee any?
It will allow current property owners to improve their properties based on the revised code. So if you have, for instance, a building that had units above a commercial entity or office, you would be able to revitalize it and do those things. So yes.
Yes.
In a positive way.
Yes.
Increased flexibility.
Correct.
I just wanted to have that stated for the public record.
Sounds good. Thank you so very much for that. Any other questions? Hearing none. Matters, please call roll.
Commissioner Michelle,
4.
Commissioner Grabowski,
4.
Commissioner Woodard,
4.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Shook,
4.
Commissioner Dias,
4.
Commissioner Taylor.
4.
Motion unanimous, 8-0.
Great. This matter also will be heard by City Council on October the 22nd. I want to thank you so very much for those three presentations, Ms. Hall. We're now going to our Executive Secretary report.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
City Council's last two city council meetings, September 10th and September 24th, they approved all the items that you all sent forward.
Great.
The large vehicle repair at Bell King Road, 2 zoning text amendments, an accessory dwelling units, plan amendment, and also the child care, Brandywine, that was approved, and the conditional use permit for the banquet facility, all approved.
Great.
Was any of that non-unanimous?
No, I don't think so. It was all unanimous.
Great.
Yeah. Now, on September 17th, what you all will have before you, no, this is the Board of Zoning Appeals. Board of Zoning Appeals approved the lot that was less than 50, with less than 50 feet of frontage at 1312 29th Street. Now, on October the 16th, what you will have before you, a presentation of the demographic analysis for the comprehensive plan update. And also, I just wanted to make you all aware that on October the 26th, the city is sponsoring a housing symposium, and I think you may know about it, Lamont, at CNU. I believe you do have to sign up for it.
Yes.
Is it on our website?
I think they have it in all forms of social media.
Okay, okay. So if you would like to attend, the focus is really first-time home buyers and just access to resources if you're looking to buy a home and how to go about that. But there will be vendors, so if you would like to attend, just sign up. They would love to have you. That's all I have, sir.
And this is citywide, just want to point
Yes,
that out.
yes.
The first one was just specific to the CNI community, but it was so popular that it has been adopted by the city. And so this is a citywide event, just helping people to understand how to own and find out the different ways that housing is still functional here in Newport News.
Question on that, and you just made a statement that I was going to ask my question. Is the information that's going to be shared, is it transitional that I can take that information and utilize it in another location? Or is it something that's directly
Yes.
just something that can be used in
Yes.
Newport News?
You can use it anywhere.
Great, because I have, yes, great. Got kids that need homes. Find it. If it works in Charlotte.
You know we're still at a meeting, right?
If it's in Charlotte, I'll still make the
Okay,
statement.
all right, okay.
My son needs to know this.
Okay.
Then I want to remind it. Any committee reports? No? Any unfinished business? Anything? Hearing none? Any new business? I do have a continuation of a conversation that I want to give you guys a status on. The Vice Mayor came in and had a conversation about us possibly having a work session with the City Council. He said he's still looking into that, making that happen. So he still wants that to happen. So I just want to bring that out to us, so hopefully he's watching like he usually do. With that being said, any other new business? Yes, sir. Commissioner Bowditch.
Yesterday afternoon, I completed my 4th day of my training at the VCU for my certification as a planning commissioner. And so I'm excited to say I completed that process. And I would encourage those at the table, which there might be 2 of you, that when the opportunity arises to do the class in person versus online. I was with a group of about 45 other planning commissioners throughout the state, from Chesapeake to Charlottesville to Blacksburg to Northern Virginia, and it was pretty enlightening, and I would say doing it in person you will get a lot more out of it.
I didn't even know that was an option to do it. I did it online.
I did it
I didn't know it
Well,
was.
for us, at our time, we were still.
Oh, that's right. It was still, never mind. It was COVID when we did it. Sorry.
Still
So-
COVID
should we
is.
forget?
For those in the future or whatnot.
Yeah, because I did
Personal
mine out in Charlottesville and it was in person, so, yeah, but, I've been a ways back. But thank you, and congratulations to you, sir. I'm assuming you successfully completed it.
I did. And, there was a lot of good information, a lot of good slides, and so I'm gonna go through it all and put together an email that'll be informative with attachments just on what's hot and modern right now for the industry.
Well, thank you. Thank you so very much for passing this information on. Hearing that, with that being, I will call this meeting adjourned.